Good morning. Today I want to talk about family court. Family court. Woo! Oh my God. You know, and I'm speaking about my own private experiences. I'm also going to mention some things that I learned from my family lawyer. She's a lady. She's actually really cool. She's a good person. She learned all the strategies and how things are done, and it's so weird. It's so counterintuitive. It's like quantum mechanics. Really, it's like nothing makes any sense, you know? But it's still the case, you know? Honestly, I think that is a great analogy. Family court is like quantum mechanics. It is the weirdest world. And speaking about my own experiences, speaking about my experiences in Germany, speaking about family court in Germany. But I have a hunch that certain things are quite universal, especially in the Western world, in the modernized world, in the progressive world, where we went from the 50s where everything was unfair in one direction, and we wanted to make it fair, and then we went past the middle and couldn't stop. No, we had to continue over the line to where now, honestly, as a man, you feel like a second-grade citizen. It's just like you have no fucking rights, nothing. So, what? You're straight? What? You're white? What? You're male? Oh my God, that's like 3 strikes and you're out. You know, you're guilty of your skin color. You're guilty of your gender, and you're guilty of your sexual orientation. Can you imagine? Let that sink in, right? So you know, they judge you for your sexual orientation, for your gender, and for your skin color. Everything they say they don't, you know, that you can't judge people for. No. How many times have you heard cis male? What's it's a prefix, right? It's like, what's cis? Oh yeah, it's on this side and not on the other side. Trans is on the other side, cis is on this side. This is what it means, right? How many times have you heard cis male, or like toxic masculinity? What? There's masculinity and there's toxic masculinity. Well, if there's toxic masculinity, then there's toxic femininity and toxic whatever. But you're using it in a frame, you know, against you. Whatever you say, it's like, that's just toxic masculinity. It's like, well, you know, that's just like, it's so bad and it's so stupid. And then these people even, that it even works, that this framing even works. So anyway, speaking about my own experiences in family court, and one thing is certain, you know. Oh, by the way, quick one. There's going to be MotoGP on right here at the racetrack this weekend. You need to come check out the Algarve. It's amazing. What a place. But anyway, coming back to family court. You need to forget everything you think you know about court and law. And especially forget about anything that you know from TV, you know. That there's a judge that is righteous, you know, and and that anybody cares about evidence, you know. No, it's like, it is so bad that I even have to giggle about it, because it's like, it's bizarre. It is just like, it already triggers my my humor, because it's just absurd, you know. It's like, in my experience, it all started with the mother moving out the house whilst I was on vacation. with my daughter. And well, you can imagine. It's like then you know, it was her turn to take the kid. But you can imagine, you can't just go away without approval of the other parent, right? That is the law. That is the law. But who cares about the law? L'état c'est moi. I am the law. You know, I am the state. As Louis XIV, Ludwig XV of France famously said. And that's how it works. It's just like, they do whatever they want. They don't care about the law. So it's like, she wasn't allowed to just go with the kid. But there's exceptions. You know, you just like go to a place and then you claim like abuse or something, and not even that mattered in court. You know, we're in court, and then it's just like, oh yeah, well, that wasn't, no, she didn't do the right thing, she couldn't do, you know, but still, you know, then they say like, oh, now it's already done. It's like, honestly, that's like saying, you know, yeah, I know you can't kill someone, but now he's already dead. Sorry. That's exactly the same logic. It is absolutely absurd. And then suddenly you know, honestly, your world breaks apart. But nobody cares. Suddenly there's huge claims of like, you know, then the mother suddenly has the kid more than you, but for no reason. Wild allegations because of abuse. And you think like, oh, okay, but you're safe because there has to be evidence. There must be evidence, right? No. That is the weirdest thing. And it's even worse. It's like you are forced into a long process in which you kind of have to, through behavior, prove, or like, you know, convince evaluators that these claims are false. And you go like, again, it's like, if I let me draw a comparison. You know, it's like somebody says you killed someone, and you say like, oh, where's the dead body? And it's like, where's the knife or whatever? You know, where's the, and they say like, now it's like for half a year or even longer. It takes longer, a year. We use an evaluator to see how you act towards other people, and therefore determine if you killed someone or not. And you go like, what? What? This is how this works? What? Of course there's no evidence because there's no case. There's nothing. And you know, I said in a video earlier, it's like, you know, even when you ask them, it's like, what am I accused of? They say like, then nobody can tell you. And they say you have to figure it out yourself, I quote. Imagine somebody throws you into prison, and you ask, why are you throwing me into prison? And they tell you, well, you have to figure that out yourself. That is what happens in family court. There is a judge, at least in my case, doesn't do family law for a long time, doesn't, you know, nobody knows how that lady ended up there. And she just comes in like, doesn't understand anything, just makes gut decisions. Oh my God, there's a dog that is ginormous. Oh my God, you're a wolf, you're not a dog. Crazy. Anyway, the kind of things that happen. Yeah, it's just, honestly, that's how I experienced it. There was no case. Nobody reads the documents. You spend a ton of money on lawyers that, you know, write long documents that nobody reads, and the other side just comes up with a list of accusations that they don't have to prove, and you then end up in like endless paper trails of you trying to like defend yourself and try to defend yourself against something you haven't done. It's like, honestly, again, imagine I claim that you killed someone and I tell you, now you need to prove the opposite to me. Well, things that didn't happen don't have a trail of evidence by design, by default, by nature. And it's crazy. They immediately, it's like, oh, the mother said, the child needs protection, or we need to protect. Why? Because we don't want to take responsibility. So we, so we do what, so that we never have any responsibility for anything. And, if it turns out differently or whatever, maybe we say, I'm sorry or whatever. I just walk away because I just work here, It's nuts. It is absolutely nuts. And, this thing with the evaluator, second court date, ages later, suddenly the judge decided, the visits with the child have to be accompanied by like social services. Okay, cool. You think they sort it out? You think they make sure this actually happens? You have to do that. And now I'm with a place where I only have 10 visits and then they stop. The court case is still ongoing. Nobody does anything. It's nuts. And then they order an evaluation. Guess what? You have to pay for that. You have to pay for that. So there's some psychologist coming in that is saying, he's going to evaluate, the whole family and the child and da-da-da-da-da. This whole thing takes a year. For a year, the child is without the father. In my case, without any evidence for anything. Because there is none. And, you have to pay for the evaluation. And guess what? It's a lot of money. We're talking 5 figures. It's nuts. And I asked my lawyer, I said, dear Miss Lawyer, what does a truck driver do? How does that work? How do they pay for it? And she said calmly, looked me in the eye and said to me calmly, they lose their children. It was like somebody punched me in the guts. Honestly, I could fucking cry just thinking about that. Can you imagine? You're a truck driver, you love your children, they take them away. You just heard the phone ring. Speaking of the devil, social worker called. And for some reason I switched off the camera, and I totally shouldn't have. I remember that for next time. Still learning. Never done this before. Just bear with me. I have to get some work done as well. But, I thought, I wanted to pick up on the fact that what my lawyer said to me was shocking. Basically poor people lose their children. And I don't know. The amount of pain we cause is unspeakable. And for some reason, again, that's my experience, there's very little empathy with fathers, with men. I don't know. As if we've done something to someone. Yeah, again, like I said, don't expect empathy. And you know what's really bad as well? If you're an empathetic person, they're going to use a thing against you that I also didn't know. I always thought it was a good thing. They call it something like impulse control. And what they mean by that is that you don't flinch. And don't flinch under pain. It's like, I guess, if you take a child from a mother and the mother weeps and cries and shouts, everyone would go like, yeah, she feels deeply. It's about her child. But this doesn't go for you as a man. This is not what you as a man should be doing. Because for you, it's all about control. Controlling your impulses, no matter how much it hurts. No matter how you feel. Because it is used against you. It will be used against you. And as mean that as this is, and I think it's extremely mean, it's incredibly mean. I should replace these plastics at some point. They're a bit tatty and worn. For Christmas, I guess for Christmas, we'll get new plastics. Don't expect anyone to understand why you're weeping, why you're hurting. It is actually negative if you do. That makes it very hard for men that actually do have a heart. And it's a bit of like, and this is the weird thing about it. It's like, everybody talks about like men have to be more vulnerable. But if we are, they twist it against us, saying it's like, you can't control your impulses. What is it? Shall I love my children and don't accept for them to be taken away? Or shouldn't I? What is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? And it is very hard, but if I could go back and do it again, then but it's weird, you don't want a second try on this kind of stuff. But if I could do it again, I would totally just be calm, very, very calm. That's the best thing you can do. Stay very calm. Is it possible? Hardly. It is really, really hard. Yeah. If you want odd screws, buy a KTM. Everything's different. But it's like if I could do it again, I knew that I'd have to stay very, very calm. You can't be outraged about an unfair system. The system isn't fair. Even my own family lawyer, she openly admits that it's not a lawful system. And from what I read in the UK and the US, it seems to be very similar. Our children are taken from us. We're not really told why. The system tries to avoid risk at all costs, justified or not. Yeah, it's a general thing. It's like, nobody wants to take responsibility. Imagine you say like the father can see the child and then something happens, then they would be responsible. So the safest thing for them is to take them away. And so this is family court. Don't expect things to be fair. Don't expect people to care about evidence. They don't need evidence. And even if you present evidence to them that proves the opposite, I haven't found that it's of any help. And getting out of that is a very, very long way. I don't know how long my way will take. But yeah, I hope I can achieve several things. Maybe raise a bit of awareness. And maybe if somebody sees this and is in the same situation, just stay calm even though you're burning and dying inside. I believed in justice, and that was my downfall. And now it takes a lot of time to try to get out of that. Time and money and effort. Yeah, one of the reasons I'm doing this is trying to maybe find a way, to help myself, to maybe at some point generate a little bit of revenue that at least pays for the lawyers. And help others. This is really very important to me. And when I looked for content, there was none. Because I'm sure there's a lot of shame. There's a lot of shame because people assume you must have done something. And the moment you actually see the system from the inside, you go like, that's not how this works, unfortunately. It is a very broken system. It is a system that avoids risks at all costs, where nobody wants to take responsibility, and where empty words like the child's best interest or protection are used as weapons. That's all I want to talk about today about family court, because we have a group of riders coming in, want to have a good time, and I don't want to get my mood completely tanked for today. So I hope you have a lovely day, and I would like to end every video from now on with greetings to my daughter. I'll do that in German. I hope you understand. Mimi Maus, ich liebe dich für immer. Dein Papa.